Hi, everyone. It's Denise Brown from caringourway.com, and I'm excited to have two interns that worked with me this semester, and it's our fall 2024 semester. So I'd love for you to meet them. So, Diana, tell us a little bit about what you're studying and what your career goals are once you graduate.
My name is Diana Aburto. I am a current senior at the University of Illinois, majoring in community health with a minor in health administration and business. In terms of career goals, I do want to go to grad school in health admin and work for a department, hopefully at Rush or Loyola.
Okay, that's awesome. And Rush and Loyola are healthcare systems in the Chicago area. I should mention that University of Illinois is in central Illinois. It's in the Champaign-Urbana area. Okay, Angela, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Angela Vladimirova, and I'm majoring in community health and Spanish. And I'm a senior. And in the future, I want to also work in the non-clinical side of healthcare, so help populations improve their health on a more big picture scale.
Through the internship, Diana and Angela helped me with projects throughout the semester. And a project that we started about a month into the internship was something new for us. And it was really looking at what's the support early career professionals need in order to be successful in their first job. And part of the interest for me was sparked by conversations with young adults who have had a caregiving situation and then are transitioning from college to first job. We looked at this as a general population of early career professionals, but I really think it's interesting to think about how can we support current and former family caregivers who are finishing up college and starting their first job, because I really believe there's additional support that they need. So the interns, Diana and Angela, started off on this project with doing some research. They did a focus group, and then they've pulled it all together to help us better understand how can we support early career professionals. Okay, Angela, tell us about what you learned.
Okay. Yeah, we have a presentation that we could share with you all. Okay. So here is a summary of our findings during the study. And yes.
The aim of our study was to find the concerns and anxieties that students face when starting a new job and understanding these worries, such as like the first day when starting a new job, first week, first month. And we wanted to develop resources and know what people wanted to help them transition smoothly from, for example, graduating into their new job and into their new roles. And we just wanted to make sure they felt more prepared, confident when entering a new job. For methods, we conducted a survey using Google Forms to gather data from current students and friends who are either about to start or recently started a job. And these surveys consisted of multiple choice questions to capture the participants' concerns during the milestones, such as the first day, first week, and first month of employment. We also asked the questions such as, what solutions would you like to have? Would what would you have liked before starting a new job? The survey was distributed to a sample of students, professionals, peers, friends, and siblings. And then the data from the responses will be analyzed to identify common themes, concerns, which will be informed, which will be informed the which will inform the development of tailored resources to address these specific needs. We also Google searched these topics and we searched for effective methods organizations use for new hires, young professionals getting fired, existing research about resources and job worries. We also did a focus group and we used individuals from the surveys that were interested in having a communication and for deep conversations and deeper into the responses. And we just wanted to know a bit more about what they would have liked, what their experience was, what job they entered. We spoke on campus with the center employees and talked about existing resources relating to transitioning from being a student into a professional career.
Okay, so from our Google searches, this is the summary points of what we found on this topic. So key sources of support during this transition can be professional support, personal support like family, friends, and partners, and internal networks and relationship building can really help. Success factors during this time period are fast movers who build broad connections quickly and develop mutually beneficial relationships. It could also help to create positive interactions, and some personal strategies for this time are strong personal branding, well-organized transition planning, and self-directed career orientation and personal coping mechanisms. So the impact of these support systems is a better transition outcomes, and this is linked to higher life satisfaction, better reemployment quality, and improved employment status. These support systems also enhance career matching, there's increased productivity and better retention rates. Some effective onboarding practices is a structured program show that 58% better retention rates over 3 years because of effective onboarding practices. There's a 50% greater new hire productivity, and there's reduced turnover rates. Best practices include clear documentation and resources, predecessor shadowing, team involvement, interactive activities, and a balance of digital and human elements. We also did research on the rates of young professionals getting fired and why this happens. So this research shows that 60% of employers have fired recent college graduates in 2024. 1 in 7 companies considered not hiring recent graduates next year, and 75% report unsatisfactory performance from recent graduate hires. There are major workplace issues causing this, such as poor communication skills and professionalism, a lack of motivation, reported by 50% of employers, a need for constant supervision, and issues with attendance, attire, and workplace language. The root causes of this are thought to be higher education systems not adequately preparing students, there being a gap between academic environment and workplace reality, an overprotective campus culture, or grade inflation contributing to unrealistic expectations. And this is a multi-stakeholder problem. It's not solely a Gen Z issue. There's shared responsibility for this among higher education administrators, parents, politicians, and employers. On the international scale, similar trends are observed in Australia. A probable cause for this is that high starting salaries are creating unrealistic expectations, and there are challenges with face-to-face communication and feedback reception. Mental health is factoring into this, and 40% of Gen Z workers report frequent stress. Companies are struggling to provide adequate mental health support, and there's a difficult transition from structured academic environment to a workplace. So from our survey that we conducted, we got 26 responses. About 96% of those were from current students, and about 4% were from a professional working their first job post-grad. The reported first day worries when starting a new job were making a good first impression, being able to complete the job correctly, meeting expectations of self, managers, and our parents, finding a community, feeling behind, not knowing the unwritten social rules, the dress code, not liking the job, asking too many questions to supervisors, having to learn a new skill or system, and finances. These are just the major ones in descending order. And you could see this visually with making a good first impression being the biggest worry, and commute logistics being the smallest worry. And then in the first week, the common worries in descending order again was being able to complete the job correctly, meeting expectations of self managers and or parents, feeling behind, finding a community, making a good first impression, not liking the job, having to learn a new skill or system, not knowing the unwritten social rules, and finances. Here is that visual again, with the worries for the first week being the biggest one being able to complete the job correctly, and the smallest one being, again, commute logistics. And the most desired resources reported was a peer onboarding buddy, with 73.1% of survey respondents asking for that. Other desired resources from the survey is a shadowing opportunity before starting, follow-up monthly meeting with the manager, tip sheets to manage first day and first week, a virtual walkthrough of the work site or work website before starting, and an anonymous group chat with supervisor and coworkers. Here is a graphic visualization of the most desired resources, with a large percent wanting a peer onboarding buddy, and then about 2% wanting a 6-hour virtual training on healthy relationships with work. And 96.2% of our respondents said that no one has asked them similar questions. And if somebody asked them, it was teachers. And then other desired resources that our survey respondents mentioned on their own was a list of materials needed to be successful, training, a mentor to share their past experience, on-campus resources, courses on how to communicate well, and meetings to form strong relationships with colleagues. And from our campus search at the University of Illinois, we found that there are no related resources on campus to help with this transition. And then from our focus group, we found that the one participant needs to shadow a certain amount in order to graduate with her special education degree. So she does have that shadowing opportunity required, but it's not at the specific site she'll necessarily be working at post-graduation. And participants are also worried about harming their self-image of themselves and that others have of them, as well as making a bad first impression. And participants think that getting resources 1 week before the job and 1 week after the job starts would be the most useful timeline. So overall, there's a large need among the UIUC campus for resources to transition from student to worker. Many worries exist during this transition, and there's a large need among all kinds of campuses for more resources. And having the support for the transition that everyone makes from student to professional will lead to better mental health and social health of our population. And then here are our references. Thank you for listening.
That was awesome. I'm curious if you guys had ever worked on a project like this before through any of your classes.
Not really.
I've done nothing related to this topic.
Okay. Have you worked on a project where you had to collect data through surveys and then host a focus group and then pull it all together into
No, I've never
results?
had to do a survey and nor a focus group.
Same.
Okay. I'm curious, how did you like this project?
I liked it.
I liked it too. It was very different, and I got to talk to my peers about something not related to like everyday talking, something about um, that we were going to go through soon. So it was very interesting to do that.
I also liked how we combined both Google search information and our survey and focus group information.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, so what would be the next step then for your project?
We were thinking to work on those desired resources that came up most often from the survey. Like create presentations to help with that transition and present in universities and create tip sheets with strategies to manage the first day and the first week and advocate that with different organizations. Um, yeah, and we can show them like some of our research as evidence of like why they should do this.
Because the evidence is somewhat shocking when you look at that one slide where it said the number of individuals who are being fired, the number of organizations who are considering not hiring right out of college. That is like, whoa. One thing I think that's interesting to also think about is if you're an early career professional starting your first job, feeling that pressure, what's your stress level? What's the toll on your own mental well-being? And that's the other side of it too.
Yeah, it can, I definitely see the effects of it as a senior and applying to jobs because some entry level jobs in the description, it'll ask for 3 years of experience. Or if it's, if like it just needs a bachelor's degree, it doesn't ask for experience. It's like a $21 an hour job, which isn't sustainable. Like that's, fast food workers make that amount about.
Diana, anything that you want to add?
Adding on to Angela, applying for jobs and also applying for grad school all during like the span of like 3 months altogether is really stressful. Um, Adding to like the experience, I'm a full-time student and I think Angela is too. So trying to have another full-time job while attending school, you don't really have much time to practice or get experience from um different jobs. So having a resource like that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, it seems like the Career Resource Center that's on campus is the perfect place for this kind of resource and to make it available for students before they graduate, regardless of whether or not they have their first job lined up. It's just helpful for them to leave campus with this toolkit, for instance, that they reference once they start their first job.
Yeah, the Career Center said that they have a lot of resources to help get a job, but not once you do after you graduate.
And I'm curious if when you look at the types of courses you can take at the university, I'm just curious if there's any course that actually addresses support for managing your first job and feeling successful at it.
Not that I know of.
I haven't really searched up any courses, but the closest that I could think is through this internship. They did kind of help you explain how to host an interview, like conduct a meeting and like be a leader of the meeting. Um, and within our internship class, they also taught us like dress codes, so professional, business casual, and stuff like that, but not anything more in depth of what to expect when starting a job.
Yeah, there are certain classes that teach you how to act professionally. Like I'm taking this one Spanish for business class, and we just learn how to act professionally. But yeah, nothing that specific, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. As part of the university's requirement for the interns, they have actually a class that they attend. Plus, they devote 16 hours a week with me. And it's interesting to think about what are the other opportunities through that internship class that perhaps your suggested resources could somehow be integrated within. Interesting. Okay. Diana and Angela, this was so interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll keep everybody posted on where this goes because we don't want it to stop here. We want it to continue because we see the need. We see the need. Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.